What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a Wednesday night live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys taking some time out to come and hang out with me. So, yeah, shout out to the fam here joining up. We appreciate you guys. We're going to talk about all things going on in the crypto market. I'm sure you've been very much watching. We'll talk about some charts. I'll give you an update, by the way, on that trade we set up last night. Holy shit, we nailed it. Like, nailed it, which is almost hilarious. And, you know, if anyone was like, oh, this 2-bit guy just has no idea what he's talking about, let me show you how much we nailed that trade. The only disappointment thing is we only went for $1,000. We should have probably gone for like $50,000. But anyway, that's a different story altogether. But I hope you're all doing well. Hope you had a good Wednesday. Markets are very nervous right now. But do you know who's not nervous? Me. Do you know why? Because this is exactly what we've been talking about now for at least 2 weeks. And as much as people might go, you flip-flop more than a crepe pancake, then, you know, I get it. I get it. But at the same time, you know, like sometimes you just got to be, you know, adaptable. Let's call it that. I think it's important, all right? So you might be wanting to be the most bullish of bulls in the world and want to see this market skyrocket and print new all-time highs. Fact of the matter is, if that isn't the cards we're dealt with, we have to repurpose. We have to absolutely pivot on our views. That doesn't mean that we're just super maxi bears right now. Which means we're being sensible. That's exactly what we've been talking about. So we'll get into all of it tonight. A couple of charts. We'll talk about what's going on. And then the big news. Let's talk about Iran. Let's talk about the potential of the US going into it. I do want to link it all back to the crypto market, but it's worth going into it. Markets are freaking out. Obviously, the Fed minutes came out today as well, which really interestingly, the markets were like, oh my God, the Fed minutes are great. And then they were like, oh no, they're not. They're really bad. So we'll give you a bit of a TLDR, too lazy to read them. And if that's something you're interested in, then we'll get into that as well. So do me a quick favor as you walk through the door, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're brand new. Also, drop me a follow here on TikTok because I would massively appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get into it. Now, weirdly, just FYI, by the way, YouTube, the chat isn't working again. I don't know what's happened. I need to have a look at it and sort of try and understand why the chat simply isn't working. I don't know why. Nothing comes up. I've reset the browser. I don't know why it's not working. All right. So don't hate me for it. I mean, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Where is it? I can't even see where it is. Let me just try something here. Transform. If I unlock that. Oh, okay. That's where it is. All right. Yeah, fine. That's actually not helping at all. Yeah, so I don't know why the chat isn't working. I really just have no idea because it should work and it should just be like there on the screen. But for some reason it's not. And I do not know why. All right. So overflow hidden OPEX. I mean, if I just change, let me just change like this to 5. I don't know if that makes any difference whatsoever. And the answer is no. Okay, so I don't know why it's not working. All right, so apologies. Hello to my future crypto millionaires. What's going on, Beeb? Welcome in. Chip is here. Magic Craig's here. Curtis is here. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Do share the stream out as well and let people know we're here. Last night, I didn't have YouTube either. I mean, that's the only thing I can think is that YouTube's just been a bit weird right now. But, yeah. If crypto's going down from here, then altcoins are going to zero. Pretty wild too. But, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the honest answer is that's probably what's going to happen. I mean, altcoins aren't going to go to zero, but okay. Let's talk about what we've got then. Let's try and make some analysis. Now, if you remember, we talked about, you know, yesterday night, we actually put that trade on, which again, I'll show you guys in a minute. Because our view was very much aligned to where we sit and this kind of macro idea that this M pattern that we were talking about yesterday is very much playing out. And if you remember, I said yesterday, look, I just feel like this market's going to push down. This whole Iran thing, as much as I think people are getting like freaked out by it, it's kind of like been something we've been like expecting, really, if I'm honest. Look at Aptos, it's getting there, putting in the work. Let's go. Fat Sonic, what's going on? Withdrew the last of my stocks today for the $1 million trade. Let's get it, Curtis. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Everything is on track and playing out. That's what I mean. Like, we can just sit back and be like, hey, I got some stable coin, baby, and we're ready to get this trade. Like I said, this current trade that we got open right now, I'm still in the short trade, by the way, and we'll show you how much we nailed that trade. But anyway, more on that in a little bit. Right now, in my opinion, still very much playing out. So we're looking for this low wick down here, and I still think we get there. You know, this M pattern, you'd argue, is sort of coming down here, which aligns pretty much perfectly to where the long trade that we want to put on for the broader market. Now, we'll assess the situation. For example, if the US is, you know, bombing the living crap out of Iran and we're down here somewhere, it would make sense to look for a little bit of a lower position. So we might go in 50% margin here. We may look for a further wick down, 58, 57, 56, as we sort of talked about, maybe 25, 25. As saying, let's try and get the best entry possible into that. And for me, that's the real kicker. That's what we're looking for right now, is the best entry mark. Oh, we can get it. Mark, what's going on? Bitcoin 45K low. Maybe Casey, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in as always. Appreciate you, my man. Are we in the twilight zone? I always feel like somebody's watching me and I have no privacy because Chip is outside. Okay. I'll just set an alert, not an order, because I'm going much lower if we lose 65K. I mean, I actually moved my stop loss on that trade because I think we might go a bit lower, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, cool. So, so this is kind of playing out exactly where we said. Obviously, we said yesterday as well, if we were to lose this support line, then expect further pushdowns. This was kind of where we aligned our... TJ, what's going on, buddy? This is where we aligned our trade setup. Now, again, we'll get into some of the more details and the bigger specifics, but if you remember, we even talked about the potential of this Fibonacciarino. And actually, if we go to the higher time frame, which we were talking about here, you can see that we lost the 786 Fibonacci, which tells me that our price target is why I adjusted my stop loss, and I've adjusted my TP1, by the way, because I think we do come lower, 65,200. I actually have moved my take profit to 65 flat now, because I think potentially that's where we end up wicking down a little bit further too. So the market structure right now here on BTC is definitely in a narrative that says, hey, you need to be mindful. We're in a very low volume profile area as well, which, like I said, we could reverse quite comfortably and come back to the upside. This is obviously the big candle that came down on these mass fears of Iran. Is that going to go away overnight? No. All right. I don't think is what it is, right? I don't think it is. But, the fact here is that this is my price target. We wicked down here before, back here on the 12th of February. So only a week ago, we were retesting this lower range. And likewise, this was a key area for us on that big dump on on February the 5th. So this is currently my price target. I think you can see where key support levels are. We've broken those. If we can rally back above 66,600, my stop loss at 66.5 now. So it'll just close the trade and we'll get about, I think it's about $150. So nothing too crazy, but this kind of gives you a sentiment of where we are. Just to give you a couple of bit more indicators on this, the actual total market cap is holding up. It might not feel like it, but actually, this is still in a very, very, very slow grind to the upside. So overall market actually still looks okay. Not like super crazy, but still looks okay, all right? So let's not get, too ahead of ourselves when we sort of sit this. Broken out of the bear flag. Interesting. Even mate, hope you're okay. Yeah, I'm all good, TJ. So, this kind of still for me is very much staying in there. You can see there the altcoin market essentially still doing the similar sort of story. So the question then is, where is it all coming out of? And the honest answer is, it is all coming out of everything outside of the top 10. Outside of it. No, that's definitely Chipper. That's definitely you, bro. It's not me. The screen's definitely not black at my end. It's definitely not black at my end. You guys tripping out? Is anyone else seeing a black screen? We shouldn't be. I mean, there's nothing wrong at my end. Everything looks like it's fine here. Everything looks like it's fine here. All right, all good. Perfect. Perfect. So this is kind of telling us that outside of the top 10, outside of BTC is probably where we've got a little bit of concern. Now, there's probably two good reasons for that. One is that people are slowly just exiting positions. Those that have held on so long are finally being shaken out of the market. Another push down, this nervousness of how low we're going to go. They're like, yeah, I'm sold, I'm done. And what's interesting here is USDC and USDT dominance is continuing to push back to the upside. Those key indicators, remember that we've been looking at the Bitcoin versus gold ratio, still heading down. Not quite at our line that we've been looking at, but it's getting pretty freaking close. The breakdown here on this line is obviously what we've been talking about. Historically, this has always signaled the bottom. I actually think we go a little bit lower and we're probably in, so around 13.07. So we've got a little bit further to go down on the gold Bitcoin ratio, and that could then signal that move. But as you can see right now, Bitcoin continuing its push down. And like I said, if you were in a short trade, this is great news. And this is kind of exactly where we are. And I purposely have left it because I thought, look, it'd be good to kind of see what I have done, how we've changed it, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll touch on that in just a second. But BTC, in my opinion, right now looks very, very weak. As I've been saying now for at least the last, man, how long have we been talking about this? Maybe like the last 6 weeks? Maybe even a bit longer, actually. Just chill and wait. All right? Just chill and wait. Shout out to you, Casey. Thank you so much, man. My face isn't on the screen, though, so you missed out. But shout out to you. Stardog in the building. What's going on? Welcome in. Good to see him. Good day, everyone. Hunter's in the building as well. What's triggering XRP down versus the positive usage like DEX? The whole market dumping. XRP is down 3.6, which actually isn't the worst number, but everyone's freaking out about crypto, mate. That's the problem. Sorry, I caught my finger earlier. And you know when you kind of get a bit of skin that's like coming off? It's really annoying me, so I apologize, all right? Don't hit me against it. No, it's clear to me. Travis says Travis knows what's going on. 4 or 5 months, it seems like. I mean, maybe, yeah. It could happen indeed. It's not far off, to be fair. I think so as well. You know, look, my price predictions all kind of feels like it's going to come in line. Lower range on the 60K probably pushes the gold ratio down, albeit gold's having a slightly better day today. I think that then gets us to the target price that we are looking at as well. So, yeah. Banana Republic says, when do you see Sol bottoming out? Well, probably similar to BTC, really. Let's run through a couple of altcoins. Let's give a couple of views. ETH, we touched on this yesterday. Very bearish. And the risk here is if ETH blows below about 1930, then expect probably another wick down here to probably 1750, 1800, maybe even a bit lower. You know, ETH could be sort of heading for this sort of range here based on this at the bottom end here and actually where we sit here. Very bearish here on Ethereum, so watch out. Now, longer term, by the way, I still think Ethereum is very bullish, and I was looking at some statistics today. The Ethereum validator account has something like 40 years worth of Ethereum now stacked in it. It's something like 68 or 70% of the entire Ethereum supply is actually locked up in their staking vault. That's insane if you ask me. So keep your eyes peeled on that. But Ethereum looking very, very bullish. Where does Solana get to? Well, right now, I mean, Solana structurally is holding up, but that doesn't mean that it can't go a Goblin Town very soon. The important bit with Solana, we touched on this very, very briefly yesterday. It did actually weirdly print a higher high and potentially a higher low, which signals that Solana is kind of doing that. But it's very volatile. This market's very shaky right now. So if we were to lose it, you have to go back a little bit here to sort of understand where does Sol go. We put our real low price target was around 57.84, I think. Could it come even lower if you got a super collapse of BTC? You know, if all these people are calling for like a 20K BTC, for example, Sol could definitely tap this range down here, 25 bucks. I don't see it personally. I don't personally see it, but you know, again, crazier things have happened. If you think about where this could get to from that lower, from that lower range that we've been discussing, you know, down at the absolute bottom of the 2023 bear market cycle, then, you know, 59, 60 bucks potentially ends up being the lower end on the 786 Fibonacci. So, you know, a couple of key things to think about. I would be looking certainly at the minute. Sol, I think, probably dips a little bit lower. You're talking probably 68 to 70 bucks is my personal opinion here on Solana. Whether it goes a little bit lower, we'll have to wait and see. XRP, as much as people are freaking out about XRP, I actually think XRP is holding up better than most. And I did a video on this talking about some of the key things. And again, no one watches it, which is fine. I mean, I honestly don't know what's happening with YouTube, TikTok at the minute. Like, it's almost like nobody cares about crypto content, which is fine, by the way, because if they don't, then great. And if you do care about it, definitely get in the Discord. That's what we've been talking about, loads of stuff. I posted that trade in there. We obviously set the trade up last night as well. If you want to win, then get involved. That's my opinion. Free, by the way, in the Discord. Link in the description. Also in my pinned bio on TikTok. So, you know, XRP for me is actually holding up pretty well. Where do I think we come to? The 618 at 138 was my next price prediction. I do think XRP pushes down to this range. But historically, we actually have seen this as a relatively strong range. So we can kind of be in a world of saying, look, if it hits the 618 there at 138 and holds anywhere within 2 or 3% of that range, you know, this sort of idea, then it probably ends up being all right. If not, Goblin Town, you know, 130, you may even get a retrace at 121 on XRP. My predictions. Again, you guys absolutely should give your own thoughts to that as well. Clarity at 9% of Polymarket. Well, there's been lots of discussions about that today. They just need to get it through. If you get another 10-10 dump start, maybe I have 300 bucks ETH buy set. Nice, Stardog. That's wild, bro. I mean, that is literally like the collapse of everything, isn't it? If it heads to that point. So yeah, good news. Now, Zebek, the ulterior coin, you know, Zebek's super interesting, isn't it? You know, like we always talk about this. Can you offer your thoughts on VeChain? Yeah, Liam, I thought it was wrecked. Am I, sorry, TikTok. I'm just sort of trying to move. I think my hand keeps getting in the way, so apologies. Isn't VeChain knackered? Anyway, I'll take a look at it. Double multi-year top on ETH, Sol and XRP on bearish AF. Yeah, exactly, Stardog. That's why we opened a short last night. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Zebek, interestingly, the anti-market coin that dumps when the market, dumps when the market pumps and pumps when the market dumps. Like, super interesting. Fairground, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, man. Monad taking a big old dumperino today, which is super, super not good. Will there be financial? Is moving, but don't be fooled. This is absolutely the hype pump, okay? So they've announced loads of stuff. They've announced they're going to be super bullish on all this kind of crazy shit going on with Will There Be Financial. It's up 11% because they're hosting the big event, which in fairness, they've got some pretty big speakers there, but, you know, don't trust this. Equally, by the way, I wouldn't be shorting this at all. Feels like a bit of a risk if you ask me. The rest of the market on a discount. Let's just call it that. AVAX under $9. H-bar down. Again, we said this yesterday. If you remember, someone was asking, should I go long on H-bar? And we said, hey, just wait for some confirmation. You know, these key levels that we've sort of had on there. Be very mindful of it. AIOZ moving. Canton, Craig, still continues to perform well. You know, we said about Canton, look out for that move again up to this range. So Canton outperforming the broader market. New shiny coin, kind of good narrative. Keep your eyes peeled on that. Memes are pretty flat. And then commodities. Now, be mindful of the commodities move. Why? Because they are opening on the pumps and then they dump for the rest of the day, which tells me it's all a bit of a game. We've seen it before. We've seen it with crypto. Look at this. So here is the market open. So we obviously dump through Asia into the UK and European markets. We then get to futures in the US, and it's like, oh yeah, gold baby, we're all going to the moon. Head up to 5,000, and then slowly bleeds out, slowly. So watch out. Silver as well. As much as people are calling this, oh, everything's going to get great, I personally think this is a massive move, all right? And I think this is going to end up totally wrecking a few people. Yeah, you might say, well, in the short term, too, but we got a bullish crossover. Momentum is definitely to the upside, specifically on silver. You go, yeah, okay, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But again, I'd be very cautious here and where you are trading. If you take the narrative here on silver, it's bearish. People might not feel like it. People might not want to see it, but it definitely is bearish, okay? So be mindful on that one. The S&P, the NASDAQ, all held up pretty well. QQQ's held up as well. Stock market, decent. Nothing crazy. Japanese yen starts to come down, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so that's kind of where we get. That's a very, very quick move through on the price of BTC. Giving you just a quick update, here is the Bitunix trade that we set up yesterday. Again, if you are interested, by the way, there is a link in the description. Also in our Discord, we do post our trade setups and you get some insane bonuses. But I am not saying that we are not absolute G's, but look at that. So this was where we entered the trade. If you remember, we were talking here, weren't we? We were like, talking about how we could see Bitunix, where could we see Bitcoin? And we actually then set this trade and we set the trigger point, nailed the trigger point with the exception of, we could have got a little bit higher. And then obviously we've dumped ever since. So just give you a quick update on this trade. It wasn't the biggest trade in the world. It's currently up around 18.4%, about $191 there on a $1,000 margin. So pretty decent return, actually. If you think this was 10 G's, that'd be nearly $2,000. So again, all relative. Here's the important bit though. The risk versus reward ratio was pretty good on this one. So if you think our risk was $66 and our reward potentially is whatever we want it to be, just to kind of give you a view, I have moved my stop loss now to 66,800. This now means that if it closes out, it closes in a profit. And you can see the take profit is now down here at 65,000. Expectation would be $300 if it gets down there. And again, if we continue to see this come down, then, I'll absolutely move that stop loss number and just keep it pushing down. But, in terms of that is an absolutely executed perfectly trade. And this is kind of what I was saying when we were talking about this. Don't FOMO the trades. Just let the price action come to you. Remember, it's all about emotion. It's all about how people trade. I mean, even the fact, look, it wicked back up to this line that we opened the trade at and then dumped straight out. This was market open, by the way. So really interesting here. US futures and then this dump back to the downside. So yeah, pretty interesting. All right. Pretty interesting as we kind of look at that. So just giving you a view. Like I said, if it triggers the stop loss at 66,800, $133 profit. All right, cool. Cool. All right, good. Okay, well, let's get into what other people are telling us. What's their thoughts, opinions, and views on this market? If everyone says more XRP today, baby. Nice. Nice. So BTC broke below the 200-week EMA again. Weekly close below this would be the first in almost 3 years. Once again, this is generally seen as a bearish move. All right. Every time we've lost this, We talked about last time. This was back in 2023. This was the FTX collapse. Before then moving back to the upside. Again, this could signal the last move down in the market. We've been saying this now for at least 2 weeks. I actually think outside of some of the top tier channels, everyone else has been pushing some sort of bullshit narrative that we're going to go higher and that the bull market's here. And it's like, oh God, some of these people, bro. Anyway, today's tariff decision, nervousness market. No, Friday's tariff decision, not today. Today was FOMC meeting, Iran, and that was about it, really. Saeed, my man, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. But yeah, I mean, we will close below the 200-week moving average. That's my prediction, and it's exactly what we thought was going to happen. Also, Titan of Crypto here giving us a view, saying the Bitcoin death cross. Now, again, if you subscribe to the death cross narrative, fine. Previous cycles, BTC bottomed 3 to 4 months after the Imachuki monthly death cross. The death cross is not formed yet. Structurally, this suggests it may still be early. All right, cool. You know, my view, again, we'll see this kind of breakdown on some of those key fundamentals and some key EMAs that we're seeing this market push down. So the question then is, durable goods reported. They did come in today. I don't know what the numbers were, though. I don't think it was the biggest numbers in the world. UK inflation dropped, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's like, oh, good old Keir Starmer's like, oh, UK inflation's down to a 1-year low. It's like you've been in office for 1 year, you massive weapon. What the hell are you talking about? Right. Let me just bring it up here. And yeah, it's kind of, there we go. So durable goods came in at negative. What did it come in at? Negative 1.4. The forecast was actually negative 3.4. So not quite as good as they expected. Not the worst number, by the way. Previous was 5.4. So it did actually come down, by the way. Yes, well, essentially they are convening to discuss whether they vote that they are illegal or not on Friday, so we might get something. Any news on this Trump signing? No, not yet, Magic Craig. It's still got to go and get through the Senate yet, which I don't believe it has done yet. All right. Okay, so let's get into what the hell is going on with Iran, because this is going to be the important bit, and in my opinion, this is the main reason why the market's totally freaking out. Now, last time... Wow, I'm like sideways here on my... What is going on? There we go. There we go, people. Sorry about that. I was like lopsided. So, alert, war is coming. Now, again, you know what Trump's like? It's like, oh, let's negotiate. Let's sit down and talk about all this stuff. Oh, by the way, there's 2 carrier groups, and I've just flown in about another 70 aircraft into the area around Iran. But let's sit down and talk about a deal. You're like, holy crap, like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, massive movement of aircraft to US bases in Europe and the Middle East in the past 48 hours. 48 F-16s, 12 F-22s, 18 F-35As. By the way, if I was having to be a pilot, I'd be flying these KC-46As and the KC-135 tankers, by the way. That's, if you don't know, I very much like aeroplanes. Not in like a weird way. It's not like I, want to marry a plane or anything weird like that, but I do like planes. I think they're cool. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be a fighter pilot. Don't have the physique, but KC-135 tanker, I'm your man. All right, I can do that. US and Israel are preparing for the next war with Iran. Now, I personally, just my opinion, and I'm welcoming your thoughts and views, by the way, I just think this is like a strong arm. It's like, hey, let's negotiate. I mean, don't look out the window, but, the USS Gerald Ford is there with like 100 airplanes on it, and it's pointing directly at yours. You know, that thing with the famous Trump speech where he talks about taking out... one of the where he goes, he cried like a dog. I can't remember who it was, like some Al Qaeda guy anyway. So but yeah, pretty interesting. So this is why I think the market's totally freaking out a little bit. We kind of saw a little bit last time, but it wasn't like, it wasn't kind of crazy. But again, there is also other aircraft being flown in. So US tankers just hit Spain's Rota. They're now escorting 12 F-16 jets across the Mediterranean. Reinforcements rolling in hot, and Iran is sweating. So you're either going to get this narrative of like, you're going to get the kind of, okay, yeah, let's negotiate. We want to talk about this. Or you're going to get like, well, basically they're going to just play chicken with Trump out there. Big ol' Bijan, my man, says, hey, 2-bit, can we look at PAX Gold? Crypto possibly new all-time high by March? Yes, we can. Give me like 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes. Whatever happens in Iran won't last long. Nothing's going to happen until 3 aircraft carrier groups are in place. Well, they've got 2 there, haven't you? Which one is it? Is it Truman and Ford? I think. I can't remember. I did look at it. I think it's like the USS Truman and the USS Gerald Ford. I think. They're both nuclear powered ones anyway, aren't they? Do they talk about Greenland anymore? No one cares. Because Greenland, they've agreed, haven't they? What's going on, GS? They've agreed they've agreed with Greenland that they're just going to build some sort of base there. So yeah, I think it's fine. Man, look at this. Don't get to my stop loss. Let's take a look at oil real quick. Oil did, 4%. 4% on oil. What, bro? What? So, yeah. So, again, my personal view is that I don't necessarily believe that it's going to happen. And, you know, if anything's going to happen, it's going to be Friday, isn't it? Maybe it's a big play that the Supreme Court's going to be like, we rule that tariffs are illegal. And then it's like, boom, like Iran's on the hot seat, you know. Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty wild in fairness. And Polymarket now giving odds of 53% chance. I actually think it's a bit more now. Daniel D in the building. What's going on, bro? Welcome in. I actually think it could be a little bit more that there is the assumption that's in. And remember, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen, but it certainly means the markets will freak out, right? Because, you know, people are unsure if oil's going to spike, gold and commodities. That's why I think you're seeing the obvious playbook that we talked about, gold skyrocketing again, which I think is just a massive trick. And I think people are going to get wrecked on it. But again, this is my thoughts. Similar with silver as well. That they're spiking, BTC's dumping, stocks are kind of flat, really. Bond market's freaking out, which is super interesting as well, by the way. You know, the bond market's having an absolute meltdown right now. It's just like, oh my God, everyone's going to like go to war and like, it's all sort of crazy. Which, you know, is almost, I mean, it's kind of wild if you think about it, but yeah. Global bond market are deteriorating. Why? Because their yields are garbage and everyone's going into precious metals because they think there's going to be a global World War III. Part of the problem, really. But yeah. And, you know, generally speaking, like global inflation's still not really under control. You've got like take the UK, for example. We're going, oh, bringing inflation down, baby. It's like, yeah, that's an absolutely skyrocketing welfare bill that we're just spending billions of pounds that we can't afford. It's like, oh yeah, inflation is coming down because you're literally making it go down. Like it's almost insane, really, if you ask me. But it'll all come to an end at some point. But yeah, the actual roughly 90% right now of worldwide bonds trade at a yield below 5%. Think about that. It's kind of wild if you think about it. Lucid Crypto says tap share, repost, follow, and join 2 bits free Discord. You absolute legend. Thank you so much for that, man. Appreciate it. I would be shocked if the stream. Yeah, so would I. I've said all along I don't believe they rule against it. I just don't believe they will. It's just too much money to even think about it. In my opinion, by the way. But yeah, definitely getting that free Discord, by the way. Totally worth it. Again, we called some of these trades that we talked about earlier. We posted them in there. We chat and talk through. It's great, by the way. Totally free community. And if you want a little bit more access to our bots that's in there, our trade alerts and everything else, then grab a channel membership. It's like $6.50, $7 a month. Literally, most of you lose that on fees trading Bitcoin. All right. So, I mean, it's literally nothing. So I'd recommend it. You get a cool ass little logo at the end of your name. Your name's in green. It's so worth it, by the way, in my opinion, anyway. In my opinion. Trump has an alien invasion speech prepared for... Someone asked you about that. They're aliens. Anyway. So this whole Iran situation is obviously pretty uneasing for many, many people. People are starting to freak out at the potential of, like, you know, the US and Iran. And again, by the way, I just don't think it's going to be a big thing. The only problem is if you get China and Russia think, right, well, let's fucking get in on the act as well, which, I mean, you are in a real pickle if that happens, but I just can't feel it. If Trump goes in, Trump goes in. Do you know what I mean? I think that's kind of where we get to, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. And then, look, let's take a quick look at the overall Federal Reserve minutes. Now, we can pull the full document up if we really wanted to. I don't necessarily think we need to, but just for reference, by the way, it is here on the Federal Reserve website. Again, you can bring the full, the full minutes up here on PDF. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. I don't foresee to go through all of these, blah, 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 blah. There's just a lot here, isn't there? There's a lot, but we can summarize it, okay? We can definitely summarize it. What was interesting is that these were very decisive votes, just real quick. So the votes for this action, Jerome Powell, Williams, Barr, all the people we were, listening to, with just Waller and Mirren voting against. Interesting. They preferred lower target range federal funds rate by 0.25 percentage point, which is interesting as well, by the way, because Mirren has always been 50 basis points, but decided this time that he wasn't going to go 50 and actually was going to sit at a measly 1/4 percentage point. So what was the overall view? Well, look, rates are on hold. We talked about this. We said this was probably going to be the thing. The Fed held the federal funds rate 3.5 to 3.25, with only two dissents, Mirren and Waller, who wanted to cut. The majority felt policy was within the range of neutral after last year's 75 basis points of cuts. This kind of sets the runway a little bit for Kevin Walsh to come in, though. Now, remember, he's not going to come in for probably another 2 meetings, but the overall index, just to give you an idea, is US CPI inflation is under 1%. That's actually one of the lowest reports. It's not the lowest, but certainly down from where it's been on a significant number. You can see how that kind of feeds in. So yes, arguably they are saying we're going to hold it, but this is deemed as a hawkish view. Remember, when Jerome Powell actually spoke, he was a bit like, well, we've got to wait and see the data. We might do a little bit more. Basically, they've gone, absolutely not. We're cool where we sit. And we're not doing anything else, right? Markets weren't really predicting that we were going to get that. Inflation concerns deteriorate or dominate, by the way, the most bearish signal for crypto bulls hoping for rate cuts. Most participants warned the progress towards 2% could be slower and more uneven than generally expected. Several of the members mentioned business contacts planning to raise prices due to tariffs. Some even floated the idea of a two-sided description, leaving the door open to rate hikes if inflation persists, which they're not going to get, right? Again, this is why I think it's a real kind of weird way of thinking about the markets, because I just think that it is literally just pushing a narrative that, like, are they going to raise the rates? No, right? Of course they're not going to raise rates. Trump's going to run the economy super, super hot. They're going to reduce rates, absolutely stimulate the bloody economy like a crazy person. I'm going to raise rates. Like, it's just not going to happen. If Powell was in for another year, maybe, but I don't see it with Kevin Walsh. They're going to drop rates. Even if that means that in a short term, people go, oh my God, there must be a recession around the corner. Get the rates down, baby. That's what we need. All right. Business rates, all the rest of it. It's going to be pretty interesting. Labor market stabilizing. Unemployment held at 4.4. The Fed sees labor market rising as having diminished, which removes one of the key justifications for cuts. Okay. We've talked about that. If the labor market settles and the labor market holds its own, there's no reason to cut. So you almost want the labor market to weaken, but if your labor market weakens, the economy weakens, which means we push prices down. However, if that was, say, over the course of the next 2 months at the end of Jerome Powell's tenure, before you get then Kevin Walsh, and then Trump runs the economy hot, he's been into Iran, oil comes down. Bear in mind, the big thing is obviously energy, which is going to be the big one. The tariff inflation is real, but temporary. The Fed attributed elevated goods costs inflation, which you could argue, yes, but I don't think it's as big as many people think. And this is why I think the Fed's a little bit disingenuous, because they're pushing a narrative that's like tariffs are raising the cost of goods, okay? And we can see it in certain elements, right? And by the way, I'm not disputing that there isn't a factor that's contributing to the fact that it's going up. The big one, though, is the fact that energy still seems to be going up. Even in the UK, by the way, as much as the Labour government can say, well, we're giving these £150 checks, we're sorting your energy out. It's like, bro, my energy's up 300 quid. What are you talking about? Anyway, the economy's solid. AI boom noted. Real GDP growth is expected to outpace potential through 2028 with strong AI-related investments, and productivity gains are cited as tailwinds, with equity markets we're up 3% on the intermeeting period. So this AI boom that we keep sort of going back over and talking about, the fact that this CapEx expenditure into AI investment is just getting big. I mean, we talked about Nvidia and Meta yesterday. Big deal. Dollar weakness, yen story, dollar depreciated notably after the Fed's New York desk made rate cuts on the USD JPY exchange rate. They clarified this was purely on behalf of the US Treasury, not the Fed intervention signal, still caught markets off guard. So again, this kind of idea that Japan is going to completely destroy global markets are freaking people out as well. So that's kind of why you're getting what you're getting here. And then look, the overall tone is neutral to hawkish. No cuts, no coming soon. Under the current Federal Reserve governor. And I know what people say. They'll say, well, how is Kevin Walsh really going to influence the entire board of governors to cut rates? It's the same as I would say when you have a football coach trying to motivate the team, or a manager trying to go a different direction to maybe what the people underneath him think. Nobody likes change, but when change comes, then people generally fall in line. So Kevin Walsh is going to come in and say, hey, if we don't cut rates, we are going to be in a problem. We need to cut rates. We need to stimulate the economy. We need to grow jobs. How do you grow jobs? You make it easier for people to recruit. How do people make it easier for recruiting? They basically have to pay less on fixed costs, yeah, energy, rent, all those kind of things. That's what Trump's trying to do. Solid economy and AI investments there is a modest tailwind for sentiment, but don't expect a liquidity-driven crypto pump from the Fed policy anytime soon. That's cool. We said this. We're like on the money. All right, fine. Stick your liquidity up your ass. We'll see that in a couple of months. Stu says, I think the aliens thing is coming. We'll see the signs. For some reason tonight, I pushed my mashed potatoes into the shape of a big, flat, topped mountain in Arizona. Man, you guys are totally off track, by the way. Talking about bloody aliens. Do me a favor, by the way. If you think aliens are real, give us a quick thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. All right. So interesting. Okay, Federal Reserve certainly in a very interesting position. In my opinion, by the way. All right, good. And then look, we're also, in my opinion, as we talked about this prior to the big market pushes to new all-time highs, you see big money starting to position itself, whether it's buying into positions, whether it's buying coins, buying dips. Well, look at this. Coinbase now is unlocked the value of your portfolio without giving you your position. Borrow up to $100,000 in USDC against your tokens instantly without selling. Available now in the US. XRP, Dogecoin, Cardano, and Litecoin. On the surface, you're like, wow, Coinbase really are super bullish here. Coinbase really are for those crypto bros that just want to earn some more. What they don't realize, though, is that, in my opinion, this is Coinbase being a little bit cheeky. Now, we know one of the biggest reasons right now, Fagon, I can't unsee your comment, which is really annoying, actually. And TikTok needs to sort his life out sometimes. No comments are, well, okay. I can't unsee it, but Fairground says, no aliens ain't real. Sea monsters are, though. There you go, Fairground. It's all about the sea monsters, bro. I think this is just a ploy by Coinbase. They're almost going, okay, so we can't have the Clarity Act passed. Market structure bill on hold. All right, well, we're going to offer even more incentives. Think about it. You can borrow up to $100,000 in USDC against your cryptocurrency. I wonder what the fees are. Should we see? I'm just curious. Will it even bring it up? Maybe it won't bring it up. Okay, let's have a look. By the way, I don't advocate doing this. This is a really terrible idea. If you can't afford to go and buy anything, don't do it. All right, that's just my view. And do you know what is even more bad? If you leveraged against your coin and then went trading with the money. Don't do it, all right? Stupid. That's what these people want you to do, and then they take all your cryptocurrency away from you. Morpheo. I want to know how much it is to what you pay back. I'm just curious. Borrow up to $100,000. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Borrow $1 million USDC. How much you're able to borrow depends on the amount of Bitcoin available for collateral and subject to LTV requirements available in the US. Receive your loan, repay your loan. So there are no repayment schedules or deadlines. Your loan-to-value ratio must remain under 86% to avoid triggering an automatic. Oh, you see, this is where they get you. This is where they get you. This is why these are bad. I think XRP definitely going below $1. Mark Howard. Wow, he's super bearish. See, this is what you do, because these are where they trap you. So your loan to value must remain under 86%. So let's say, for example, you have, let's say you got like, what's a dollar? I'm just trying to think what coin is a dollar right now. Near protocol. Okay, so you're like, okay, I'm gonna go and get some near protocol, whatever. So you got to keep it at 86%. Which means then that if you had a dump in price by 23 cents, you would liquidate your entire holdings. What? That's wild. That's wild. As if Coinbase are even allowed to do that. Bro, 86%. Like, you could get wicked out of that. I bet there's some real shady... Do you know what this reminds me of, by the way? This reminds me of cloud mining, where you basically got totally screwed on your accounts once you got any kind of price activity that happened in the market. It's bad news. So let's say, for example, what's XRP right now? XRP, so 142. Okay, so let's say I'm going to go and borrow $20,000 against my XRP. So in order for me to get that loan to value of $20,000, then I need to give up 1.4263. So I'd have to give up 14,022 XRP. Okay, that gives me $20,000. What's then interesting though is if that then dropped by, let's say that went to, I'm just curious, what would 14% from $1.42 times 0.14 is that? Minus 1.42. So if XRP dropped to $1.22, you'd be liquidating on your entire holdings. Well, think about that. 122. I mean, yeah, all right, it's a big wick, but look at this. So if you had a loan through Coinbase, you had a loan through Coinbase, you would not only have got totally screwed on the fact that the price would come down, you would literally have liquidated your entire loan. What? Don't do it, everybody. It's a massive con, all right? Don't do it. It's not a good idea. Man, I think the trade might get stopped out here. Although it's 66,800, isn't it? All right, that's fine. That's fine. I thought it was a bit nearer. Faster than your calculator, 2-bit. No, you weren't. No, you weren't, bro. I don't even have a calculator. This is just number sheet that I can do. I'm doing it all in my head. Bitcoin Beach said it's a really bad idea. Was debating about doing it. Joking. Yeah, don't do it. I think it's a terrible idea, personally. Terrible. Has limitations, obviously. Yeah, 100%. Right. Bitcoin Bijan, what did you want us to look at? I've totally missed that, Dono. You said, oh, yeah, PAX Gold crypto. Okay. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. There was also another coin that launched there. The reason I haven't posted it in the Discord just yet is I want to see how it plays out. I want to just see how it plays out because it's going okay at the minute. It's going okay at the minute. Let me do it on Coin Market Cap. So basically, you borrow 20 grand, you get liquidated and lose 20 grand, but at the same time, you still no. So essentially, what happens is that what people would do is take 20 grand of XRP. Coinbase say, thank you very much. We'll take your 20 grand of XRP as collateral. Therefore, you don't have it. And then you go and trade the market. So you not only get liquidated on the loan, you then lose all your crypto as well. So you then basically get completely screwed for, 20 grand. Probably worse. It's probably worse, actually. It probably happens quicker. Like I said, it's just not a good idea. Definitely not in a bear market anyway. Definitely not. Right, what was your thing? PAX Gold 4987. You're seeing what? 6K. Is that right? Bitcoin BGSM. Possibly a new all-time high by March. I mean, if the US goes in on Iran and you get loads of, maybe, but I'm just going to be, because I think it's important that you have to have convictions when you sat in this seat. But my personal view, by the way, is no, I don't think it gets to 6,000. Think about where it is right now. Why are people going to go into gold when, by the way, banks and stuff are dumping gold like crazy? So yeah, I don't personally believe that we get back to 60K unless there is some sort of crazy move. 20.6% feels like a hard bump. Just in my opinion, by the way, I could be wrong. Yeah, you get screwed for 20 grand, but actually lose everything or nothing. Yeah, exactly. You literally completely lose everything, and Coinbase take all your cryptocurrency. But if you win, you get your 20K plus winnings. True, minus your fees. But yeah, I mean, it's basically gambling though, isn't it? Which is not a good idea. But you're gambling on an extremely volatile market and actually reducing your potential buffer, which is in it, which is kind of insane. It's just not a good idea. That's just my personal opinion. Just not a good idea. What's going on, Rob? Good to see you, man. All right, PAX Gold. Yeah, do I think it goes to 6K? Probably not. But again, you got to understand, this is just, all this does is track the price of gold, okay? Tracks the price of gold. So, if you got Tether buying gold, and let's say, for example, some big country comes out and says, we're going to absolutely power slam our sovereign wealth fund and buy more. So let me just ban these people. Then maybe, but I don't personally see it. Right. All right. Good. Craig said, I'd rather just carry on DCing. Exactly. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way. Take your opportunities when they present themselves. So yeah, anyway, that's PAX Gold. All right. Let me just close some of these. Let's take a quick note and a quick little lookerino at BTC. Actually did get a little bit of a rally here. Nothing super crazy. And like I said, you could argue maybe we are, maybe we're a little bit more bullish. Maybe. Doesn't feel like it. I think it would be nice to pinch. I think it would be nice to pinch to take a loan on crypto. Honestly, just small amount, and you just pay it back over the next week. But yeah, it depends. It depends what the ratio is, though, doesn't it? That's what you got to be mindful of. And equally, if you were, I'm just trying to be really conscious here. I don't want to say something that's going to get me in trouble. But in theory, a good time to do something like that would be when you are trying to accumulate more. So at the bottom of a bear market, for example, that necessarily wouldn't be a bad idea because you still remain the collateral that you would have, but you can then leverage that for more collateral. So essentially you double the price of what you've got. Like I'm saying, I'm not a financial advisor. I absolutely do not recommend this whatsoever. And in my view, it's a incredibly risky strategy. But that being said, it is a similar story when people kind of mortgage themselves to death trying to buy a bigger house with the assumption that later on in life, it's going to be worth more. So you could argue at the bottom of the bear market, well, maybe I take my XRP. Let's say, for example, XRP goes to $1. You get less buying power, but you double the amount of XRP you have, in theory. Now, you'd have to have really strong conviction, and you'd have to be comfortable with yourself that you are going to lose it all if everything goes to shit. But it's important to think about it. BM21701 says, what till 35K? Do you think wait till 35K? I just think it's too bearish. I think 35K is too bearish, in my opinion. I think with institutional buying still, BlackRock, IBIT, everyone's still buying some elements of institutional buying, then, I just think I think 35K is too bearish. Doesn't mean we couldn't get there, by the way. I'm not saying that. My personal view is probably a wick down, 50, 52. That's my personal view. Certainly in all of my plans and all of my theory and strategy, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And by the way, we were out by 2 weeks calling the market top. Just saying, right? Just saying. All right. 35K BTC might be healthy as alts would die. I mean, true, but, it just means that you just end up, I think you prolong the pain, in my opinion. Max Fear button going to be pressed over and over again, sending crypto markets on free fall. That's true. Wealth Ranger, what's going on, bro? Well, Wealth Ranger, can I ask you a really quick question? Really quick question. Only because I saw you comment on a couple of videos. Do you actually like crypto, or are you like an anti-crypto is probably not the right word, but do you just not like crypto? By the way, I'm not coming at you. I'm being dead genuine when I just say that, because you are on a, if you had a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I am so unbelievably bullish on cryptocurrency long term, 1's I'm absolutely as bearish as I get. I think you're a -5. So I'm just curious, by the way. Again, no hate at all. I was just curious what your actual opinions and thoughts are. Maybe you're super bearish in the short term, but actually long term, you're hey, crypto's going to be fine. I don't know. Let me know. Shall I convert my 5,000 XRP to RUSD and buy it back at 1-ish? Moto, you have to make your decisions on that. That's not for me to make. All I will give you my view is that I think the market's going lower. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to. And actually, if Trump doesn't go into Iran and we don't really get any news on Iran, then maybe it doesn't. I mean, the trade's we're still in the right place. It feels like the bottom was 66.1. I mean, it's coming back up again. Still feels okay. $168 in the profit right now, but, nothing super crazy. Does it wick back above here? I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. A lot can happen between now and then. I was just looking actually to see what was going on Flight Radar, to see if there was anything kind of, happening over here, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of, there's nothing super weird over here. Lots of commercial planes still sort of flying about, and no real crazy military bases or anything, happening. But I mean, I think I think there's a few of the bits and pieces moving around in there, but yeah, interesting. But yeah, they're all sort of commercial flights really out there. All commercial flights. Anyway. It doesn't mean you take the money in the trade. Maybe you own a company or something. What's that for? BTC's already loaned out. Or yeah, I mean, lots of people have done it, by the way. Crypto business, BTC is going down. No volume. That's true. I mean, it's holding at 66.5. So, but yeah, I mean, my view, like I said, we've got this short trade open here on BTC from 68,000 to 68 that we opened this. So nice little short trade here that we took. But, maybe this comes down a little bit further. I personally think it does. I mean, I predict my view is 60K. But sell house, pay the mortgage, put equity in BTC and rent for 10 years. I mean, I said that to my missus when we had the extension done. I was like, take all the money. We should buy Bitcoin. And we would have been totally fine. But obviously, clearly, that's in some elements fraud, which is not a good idea either. So like I said, I'd be really, really mindful of doing anything that means that you do not custody or have hold of your crypto, and at any point, someone can take it from you. I don't think that's a good idea at all. So be very, very mindful of it. Okay. So that kind of gives us a view of where we are right now. BTC, like I said, trying to rally back. We'll take a look at the pre-markets in just a minute. That is, that's kind of an interesting idea. And yeah, Uncle Klaus was right. I'm going to own nothing and be happy. That's the best way to do it, by the way. At the minute, I'm looking at like a trust fund to put like things like my mortgage in and like all sorts of stuff. Apparently it's way better. Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor yet. I might do it in the bear market. We might do a course depending. I mean, if the channel keeps getting any lower views, then I probably will have to go and do a financial advisor course just to kind of hang on. Do you know what I mean? But so we'll see. Anyway, but yeah, we'll sort of, you know, certainly kind of see what happens. I think the big catalyst will be on Iran. There isn't a lot going on globally in terms of markets. Just to give you a bit of a flavor, ETF saw a little bit of outflows, mainly from Bitcoin. XRP was flat. Solana and Ethereum still buying. Like Ethereum's kind of wild. I was wondering if we can get the Ethereum, the staking vault for Ethereum, just out of interest. CoinShares Rachel Lunong says 50% figures accurately. Okay, more than half of all ETH ever issued has passed through Ethereum's proof of stake deposit contract, but analysts say this overstates how much ETH is actually locked. On-chain data shows about 37 million Ethereum, about 31% of the supply currently staked, by far below the roughly 80 million that's cumulatively entered into the Beacon deposit contract. So, you know how it is. Vitalik's like, oh yeah, make sure people think we're staking loads of Ethereum. I mean, technically, like, people are staking loads of Ethereum, so yeah, interesting. But that's why I think was buying this. Obviously, the IBIT Ethereum staked ETF is coming as well. So, you know, people are kind of watching very closely as to how this kind of moves. So I'm just going to put this on the 15-minute chart. By the way, I'm just going to see what happens in Bitcoin. Hopefully it goes a bit more bearish than it is now. But yeah, that's kind of what we could get to. So very interesting. And like I said, Ethereum, in my opinion, is a little bit bearish. You know, if we look at this on a 4-hour candle, I mean, you kind of, it depends how you look at it really, doesn't it? I mean, you'd argue that we could be in for a bit of a breakout here on ETH. You know the rules, everybody. You know, we could be, you know, we could break down and you know, where would that take us to? What would the price target be on the breakdown here? You know, a potential breakdown to about $1,500. You know, if it was to break down from there, you know, maybe we get a little bit more and it comes to the end of the candle. You know, you're still around $1,500, aren't you? Potentially here on Ethereum. If this pattern was to play out, I mean, I don't know if it's going to or not, but you know, broader macro still very much feels like a downtrend, doesn't it? You know, that's a pretty aggressive downtrend. So, you know, if anything, you're kind of like, well, what's the Fibonacci telling us that we're going to get to? In fact, it needs to be the other way, doesn't it? Excuse me. You know, let's kind of wait and see. I still think we are in a similar pattern from June 22 to August 22. Yeah, well, look, and again, but that pattern plays out as a further push down in the market, doesn't it? So, you know, ETH definitely looks a little bit bearish. We talked about Solana earlier. Similar pattern, you know, I think whatever happens with ETH probably happens with Sol as well. That's an interesting level, though, coming in right now at 77.96. So, you know, do you get a bounce off that? You're looking for a little respite, scalp, long trade, potentially up to the upside. Could be good news. Could be good news. What was I going to look at? Oh, man, I'm just clicking the wrong buttons here. I'm clicking such a load of wrong buttons. There we go. That's what I was clicking. Oh, it's not going to bring it up, is it? Okay, it might do, actually. If you were wanting to get signed up to Bitunix, by the way, you only have a couple of hours left. Remember, it's a 50% rebate. No one else is offering you that. No one. Only this channel is giving you 50% rebates on your deposits on Bitunix. Now, also, quick update, FYI, I may be in a world for the for premium Discord members, by the way, that I could have something super cool, right? I'm just going to read you a message someone sent to me. It says, hey, by any chance, would you or your audience be interested in trading automation? I mean, potentially, I've got a private Discord trading group, and now we work with some top exchanges to push more volume. But that's even better. Side note, our platform only works with Blowfin at the moment. Let me share here our partnership framework in a nutshell, okay? So it kind of goes through, and it's like this, that, and the other, all the rest of it. Complimentary pro access for your audience. To make promotion easier, we provide free pro access, valued at around $2,000, to your community. This allows your audience to experience our platform firsthand, see the value for themselves, and naturally support your affiliate rewards. So great news. We may have a piece of AI trading software worth about $2,000 that if you are a premium Discord member, you may get access to it. Okay, so I'm going to try and work through some deals. I want to try it myself. We'll probably have a look at it here on the channel and do some bits and pieces, but maybe that's coming for you guys as well. So another reason why I definitely would be involved in the premium Discord. All right, but I'll let you guys know when that comes through. Facts on it exactly, does lead further down, but not today. Hopefully for me. Well, you see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Oh, Curtis, I know they are. I've worked with them before. They're the same people that did this indicator, chart prime indicator. So I actually have some of their stuff from before. You know, some of their kind of key areas that telling us where we are right now. And, you know, this is kind of like a good little MACD trade, by the way. But yeah, they're good guys in fairness. These are literally the same people that I spoke to. So it's like an AI automated trade platform, kind of like grid trading, but I think a little bit different. So yeah, so we'll see if we can work a deal out. Then that could be pretty cool. But yeah, they did all this chart prime stuff. Like, it's pretty cool in fairness. Like, some of the stuff they have on here does, you know, does kind of give you a view. So, you know, it kind of takes loads of analysis. You can see here, look at the top. You've got XRPs and bearish sell, BTC sell. Dogecoin is actually saying to buy. Why is it saying Dogecoin should be a buy right now? Let's have a look. Why would Dogecoin be a buy? Interesting. So Doge breaks below there. Reactor is still very much bearish, but trend signal is actually showing that it is a potentially oversold asset. So you might get a little rally on Doge. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Maybe I'll leave this up, actually. I haven't used this stuff in ages. So yeah, look out for Dogecoin. What else did they give me? They gave me the back tester. I can't remember what half of this stuff does. Back tester does... Oh my God, what is that? All sorts of crazy shit just came up on my screen. Anyone know what it is? No. I need to probably look at it. I think loads of people use this one. There you go. There you go. So this kind of gives you the... I think we sort of talked about this before, actually, where we've said the bull bear indicators. We've definitely looked at this one before. Burn my man, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. I just realized TikTok, you can't actually see what I'm looking at. I'm sorry, guys. That's super annoying, actually. But yeah, they kind of have all sorts of like cool stuff on this. I mean, we could leave it there, like just leave it up on the screen. Like, why not? Trade it and test it. I want to bullishly gamble with your money. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. So, I mean, it's kind of an interesting stuff. Maybe we just leave it on and we see what happens with it. Like I said, if we can work something out with them, then and especially if you guys get it for free, I mean, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So I mean, we'll see. Like, yeah, at the minute, this is saying like, I mean, do you know when people say, "Oh, this is my trading software," and it tells you exactly what's going to happen? You're like, does it? Right now, Dogecoin is in a potential. So short TP2, if you were shorting Dogecoin, this is kind of where you'd be saying, right, the bottom's in, and then potentially you now start to excite to the upside. So maybe we keep this up. Maybe it's kind of fun to have a look at it. Maybe market dumps look is the prophecy right now. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, we got a couple of trades open. How do we see your screen? Is that on Insta? No, YouTube, Gavin Bainbridge. So I'm live on YouTube as well. If anyone knows how I can stream TikTok through OBS, and I will do it. I just can't work it out. It all just goes wrong. Man, there's so many scammers coming in tonight. Why are these even allowed in? And that isn't a dig at you, by the way, Casey, because you're doing a great job as always. But man, these people are annoying. Yeah, I just don't know how to do it other than like a really bad basic screenshot, which is annoying as anything. So yeah, kind of is what it is, really. Innovative concept. What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, so Dogecoin's interesting, by the way. Dogecoin is interesting. What does it say in our... let's see, trade signals. Okay, let's chart request. Let's do /TA DOGE, Doge. Let's see what one of our bots does in our premium Discord group, by the way. Again, so currently it's saying it's oversold on the CCs. It's on the Bollinger Bands. It's near the lower band, which could be a reversal signal. The SMA 50 is priced below. Bearish crossover mode. The ADX signal is weak, bearish. Parabolic SAR is bearish. TD sequential is 6 down. Ugh. RSI divergence is none. So yeah, the argument is right now that, Dogecoin is very, very bearish right now. Very bearish right now. I'm just trying to see whether... I can't see what it is. I can't see the thing I'm looking for, which is kind of annoying, actually. Oh, there we go. Crypto fear and greed, stock trading, Reddit, honey pot, rug checker. Okay, fine. I don't know what this means. Let's delete that. So, I mean, maybe Dogecoin's a bit of a trade. I don't know. I'm like, it's kind of wild that people are somehow signaling that it might be. I mean, lots of indicators are saying that Dogecoin's actually bearish. But go on, Mike, if you buy it, I'll buy it, and then we can watch it dump together. Would 60k on Doge potentially lead to something positive? Would 60k on Doge, as in, what do you mean? Buying 60,000 worth of Dogecoin? I mean, look, again, don't ask you, I think in my opinion, by the way, don't ask yourself in specific coins, ask yourself market trends. That's my personal opinion, by the way. Where do you think the market is right now? If you think the market's going to go up, then I just don't think it's a good idea getting into anything. I'm just going to be dead honest with you guys. I haven't bought a single coin outside of the VC investment coin that I'm in, which I'm happy to show you guys because it's live. So I actually got in as a private investor in it, and I don't know where it's at right now, but it looks terrible. It's actually dumped quite significantly. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't know if I'd buy 60k of Doge, if I'm honest. Yeah, so this doesn't look particularly great. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's only been out. It only launched today, but interesting whether it comes back or not. I mean, there's some pretty big sells going on here. Look. Wow, that's a big old dumperino. This is the thing, you know, when people say to me, 2bit, why have you launched Rebate? Like, get it out. It's fucking going to be to the moon. Like, these are coins. This is launched today. Over 1,000 people in the Telegram, massive connections, loads of call groups and stuff. Look at it. Like, it's hard yards. Like, launching a coin right now is not a good idea. And I know people are getting freaked out and people are pissed off about the fact we haven't launched Rebate yet. It makes no sense, all right? No sense at all. Do you know what happens? We launch it. People will buy here. It gets to here. People dump it. Coin's over. That's it. That's it. That's it. Finished. I mean, it'd be the easiest launch ever because I could launch it. It'll do exactly what I think it's going to do. And then we walk away and we go, well, I told you what was going to happen. So again, I know people are annoyed about it, but that's why we haven't launched it because it doesn't make any sense right now to do it. BTC is known as pick on if you pick on your endorses behavior. What? I don't even know what that means. I would not buy 60k of Doge, guys. Mad. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't do it either way right now. Thing with Doge is that only time frame worth looking at seems to be this monthly, so it could actually be a while before it starts pumping. Wait, look, you gotta kind of make the you gotta see the broader market, haven't you? You gotta make the broader market. Just my opinion, anyway. Just my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of a disappointment. I thought this would be way better than it is. In my opinion, I'm just trying to see if there is anything that's going on. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. What time are we on? Man, it's 10 o'clock. Holy crap. Doge actually performs similar to BTC over a 4-year cycle so far. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know, Dogecoin's interesting, isn't it? Maybe it does give us a rally to the upside. I don't know. I don't know. Right. Anyway, BTC right now is holding up pretty well. Pretty well. I can't remember how I meant to look at these. You put trend versus reversal. Auto optimizer. Man, it's so long since I've used this. There we go. There we go. All right, let's see if it does anything. So where do we summarize? You know, where do we summarize right now? And I guess kind of what's the view with everything going on? Market's bearish. People don't like it. Market's definitely bearish. If anyone's going to do anything with Doge, keep your eye on it over the next 24 hours or 48 hours. Sorry. Yeah, I still think the market goes down. I still think it goes down, but I mean, like I said, maybe not. Maybe not. Signals are saying maybe Doge. Well, let's tier Dogecoin in a minute. But yeah, overall market right now is bearish, driven, I think, by this whole Iran narrative. You know, I saw and I don't know if it's true, but I definitely feel like I saw an airspace restriction for missile testing. Am I making that up? Does anyone else know? 95% up on my short. Nice, bro. Yeah, I mean, mine is just selling up a little bit. We're about what? Just 17.2%. But again, look at this. Consolidation's fine. I think this comes back down again. But Justin Eric Trump says Bitcoin will reach $1 million. Go, Eric. Iran. Oops. Iran space. Let's have a look. So Iranian regime drops drone strike hit a vehicle carrying. Come on, okay, that's not now. I feel like that's fake. Reports say that Russia has delivered the Nebu M radar system to Iran. Okay, cool. U.S. military aircraft entering Iran airspace. Origin of the flight unknown. Okay, yeah, the skies are still pretty full near Iran and Iraq. If airspace suddenly clears, we know that it might be go time. So I definitely feel like I'd seen something. Oh, here we go. Breaking news. Iran will close its airspace tomorrow in a strangely corridor shape, stretching from central Iran to the Gulf of Oman. This appears to be the test of a long-range anti-ship ballistic missile. Holy shit. Wild, isn't it? Man, we just don't, like, war's not a good thing. Just FYI. Okay. So, yeah. So at the minute, I mean, I feel like I'd seen something, but I mean, we just want to keep an eye on whether you've got, whether Iran's clearing out in terms of planes. And I guess, they come in from here, right? I mean, I'm not a bombing expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like they would come up this way, in my opinion. So what are these things? Aircraft ground vehicle. Anyway, it doesn't look like there's a lot here anyway. There's nothing like super crazy. No like fighter jets like buzzing about at the minute. At the minute, anyway. Could all change. Who the hell knows? Who the heck knows? I trade volatile coins. Curtis loves it. It can go down, but I'm saying 65k is the last line. We lose that. We go way lower. Yeah, maybe. Can you look at World of Bit Financial? Yeah, we were looking at that earlier. Obviously, you've got the big expo on World of Bit Financial. We said, hey, this probably isn't something that I would trade. I'll actually give you guys the view of this. There you go. Look, there's there's World of Bit Financial. Look. So yeah, would I be trading this? Absolutely not. Now, some people would go, well, 2-bit, it's fine. It's fine. Look at it. It's super bullish. In fact, I've done that Fibonacci the wrong way. Sorry. It's super bullish, bro. It's super bullish. 618, retest, rejection, down. 786, probably retraces down to 1155. In my opinion, I could be wrong though. Depends. I haven't really heard anything from it. WLFI. Let's just take a quick look and see if there was anything that like came out here. But yeah, I think it's a super risk if you're trading that. In my opinion, anyway. So we're collaborating with Apex Group to bring regulated stablecoin infrastructure into traditional fund administration. The collaboration will explore integrating USD1 across Apex Group's broad ecosystem for subscriptions, distributions, and redemptions of tokenized assets. What is Apex Group? What is the Apex Group? Anyone know? Is a single source financial solution provider. Okay. Expertly servicing the whole value chain. So capital raising, business management, fund administration. Okay, so they're basically going to take marketing and asset services on chain. 52 countries, under offices, 13,000 people. Interesting. Driving digital tools into asset servicing. Manager, investor, collaboration, interaction, data exchange. Oh my God, this is kind of wild, isn't it? It's kind of wild. Apex Connect. I was going to see what does it do? Here we go. What do you do, Apex? Shouldn't gold spike if Iran attacks, or is that wishful thinking? Yeah, it will spike. How much it will spike, though, will be a debate. I think, don't forget, gold's already up about 3% on the day just because of the nervousness. Sorry, 2.05. So, potentially, yeah. Potentially. Yeah, interesting. All right. Well, Will Limit Financial are doing that. Anything else they're doing? Will Limit Financial about to announce partnership with DAR Global and Securitize to tokenize Trump hotels and resorts. Oh my God. Trump International Hotel and Resort Maldives in partnership with DAR Global and Securitize. Get it, Trumps? Oh my God. It's an absolute joke sometimes. There's not like, you know, feeding yourself at the canteen line first, is it? But yeah, I mean, Will It Be Financial? I mean, we said don't write it off. I mean, we've been saying this for a while. You know, these are potentially the moments you should be buying coins. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do with any of your money, by the way. But definitely could be an opportunity if you took it wisely. All right, if you took it wisely. Quant, Bitcoin Bijam, honestly, I really do appreciate the donos, by the way. But you definitely don't have to donate every time you want me to look at a coin. You of all people, I will literally just look at the coins for you. But hey, again, I don't want to come off as being ungrateful, by the way. So thank you so much for the 5. I appreciate it, buddy. Quant, yeah, Quant's currently in a reversal, by the way, if you were to take this kind of view. But yeah, I mean, technically, you'd argue Quant is in a reversal right now, which is kind of nice. Can it get to 96 bucks? We actually broke Quant down the other night. The problem you have really quickly on Quant is there's the peak. You then have the, you know, the lower high, followed by the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower. So, you know, this is very much doing this. So you're looking for a reversal trend right now before you do anything. In my opinion, by the way, in my opinion, you know, so if this is the reversal, which if Bitcoin goes down further, then Quant's going down further. All right. As is the broader market, you know, we'll probably hit $2 trillion. But if this starts to reverse, equally, we've always said, well, what's the potential move here on Quant? Where could Quant get to from a, you know, from a price standpoint? Well, at 96 bucks, yeah, I'd argue Quant pretty much does that every cycle. If you look at this on a more macro scale, you have, you know, the dump to the bottom, the lower low, and then we get the higher high. And then, you know, this kind of, you can see it kind of how it plays out here. Look, it's really obvious. So, you know, can Quant get to 96 bucks? Yes, I absolutely believe it. It's a multi-chain, multi-cycle coin. Right now, would it be sensible to buy anything? I don't think so. Just my personal opinion. You can either take it as what it is, or you can tell me to shove up. You know, that's just my opinion. I don't necessarily believe buying anything right now is a good idea. That's just my thoughts, and it's just my opinion. Okay. Tim, when I said Trump, it was Trump Jr. in person. Yeah, they're the ones holding the event out there. Trump Jr., by the way. Oh, this just had a nice little buy-in. Look at that, 1,500 bucks. Let's go. Hopefully it goes up higher. Yeah, my biggest hold is XRP. Big things coming. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, honestly, I put man, I think something just got me. What the hell was that? Thought someone just got me on my chair. Yeah, I think I'm in a similar place, by the way. XRP, I'm definitely in that world. I actually do hold Will Limit Financial coin as well. Interestingly, and I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually stake it on MEXC. So I have Will Limit Financial and Pepe staked on MEXC. Now, I make about 160,000 Pepe a day. How much is that, by the way? I'm just curious. I mean, it's literally like fucking nothing. 156,000. No, 156 million Pepe a day. Okay, I think it's that. Times 0.0000044. No, it can't be. It can't be. Must be 156,000 times 0. No. How many knots has Pepe got? 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 4. Yeah, so I'm making 66 cents of Pepe a day. Let's go. But some of you would go, well, that's a proper stupid idea. But I'm getting 156,000 Pepe a day. Well, let's say 156,000 times 10 days, 1.5 million Pepe. Well, what happens when Pepe breaks a zero? What is that 1.5 million Pepe worth then? Well, let's have a look. 1.5 Pepe worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 4. Would be worth 65 bucks. You see? You see? You don't get that on other channels. By the way, I'm not saying that you should all go and stake Pepe on MEXC, but I'm saying the opportunities are out there. So many people get freaked out in these markets, and so many people just lose their shit, and they try and go and like trade some insane meme coin or trade 300x leverage on a BTC and get completely liquidated. Like, don't be foolish. Be sensible. They are absolutely Excuse me, the line to do. To be honest, what you think will have the biggest ROI in the next run, Suie? There you go. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I think it's super undervalued. Maybe Solana, but I think Suie could. I think Suie could have a bigger narrative on there. Just my view, by the way. You have to KYC to stake on MEXC. I don't know. I don't know if I'm honest. I am KYC'd on MEXC, but I only hold like some stablecoin. That's it. I don't hold anything else on there. So, you know, I've never gained or lost. It's just my stablecoin. I guess you could argue I'm gaining 66 cents of Pepe a day. All right, fine, whatever. But yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, I think Suie definitely has a bigger opportunity. I think it could be good. Could be good. All right, by the way, if you haven't already, hit the like button or hit the subscribe button, or if you're here on TikTok, by the way, shout out to everybody tuning in. Hit the follow button. I do appreciate it. Massively helps out the channel. You know, it's hard yards at the minute. By the way, I'm not here for a sob story. I don't want people like, oh, 2-bit. Here, we'll come. I'm not about that, by the way, because you know me, I'll grind every day of the week to try and bring you the best content I can, keep you plugged into the market, keep you dialed into what's going on. But if you could just hit the like button, that does help us out. Share it with a friend, all that kind of good stuff. We try and bring something a little bit different to the live streams. And as soon as I can get it on TikTok, I definitely will. It's just annoying, by the way. Mr. 8 says, I work for the Sacramento Kings and so many players I work with on the XRP train for sure. Let's go. Oh, does it, Curtis? Okay, well, there you go. Tim says, don't get bored. If anything, DCA a little into your favorite utility coins. Yeah, or anything that you bought and still hold at like a way bigger price. Like I said this the other night, and I don't mind sharing where I'm at. You'll never get me sitting here going, oh, well, yeah, fucking sold everything. So, honestly, Bitcoin wicked up to 126,500, sold everything. Nailed the No, come on. I mean, there's definitely channels out there that I literally watch them, and I'm like, I can tell you're lying. I can tell you're lying. We'll try and keep it as, as transparent and as honest as we can. Like that's, I've got nothing to hide, me. The only thing you'll never get me telling you is what my entire portfolio is, because I'm ashamed that it is only about $400. All right. So people might be like, oh, look at him. He's got a YouTube channel, talks about crypto, and he's got a $400 portfolio. Cool. All right. Cool. I exited the Friday before 126. Bro, get it. Yeah, I was about 2 weeks out. Still, though, the advantage was we entered at like the absolute market bottom. Solana at $8, Ethereum at 750, like proper market bottoms. I mean, technically, I'm still up, even at some of these prices right now, just because of where we bought them. XRP at 38 cents. So yeah, like I said, we're all good. We're all good. We're keeping it real. We are keeping it real, my friends. I was too heavily short at the time, and I was like, oh, shit, let me think about this. And ironically, it would have played out. I mean, I said this to you guys the other night. I missed the big Feb dump here by $116. My stop loss hit, and at 116 above my... Sorry, the price went $116 above my stop loss, and then obviously we saw that massive dump. That would have been an insane short trade, but... You win some, you lose some. It's not worth stressing about, is it? In my opinion. Curse, I got booted. Haven't tried with a VPN yet, though. What's that for? Oh, right. I'm MEXC. Thanks a million, sir, for your consistent efforts. Hey, Saeed, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate it. Saeed, did you manage to get yourself in the Discord as well? I know there's a few people asking about that the other day, so hopefully you guys did get in the Discord, by the way, because it's bullish. Why would you not want to be in the Discord? It's great. Oh, Craig, can you stop posting stuff in the announcement channel? No one can see it. No one other than me, you, and Curtis. They are the... Do you know when you go onto the screen, by the way, Craig? I'm going to show you something now, right? I'm not hating because you do a great job for me, by the way. But when you go onto this screen... On this side here, look, these are the only people that can see this channel. So, you, Curtis, and Jesse, who did message me earlier today, actually, but I'm saying, that's it. They're the only people that you are. Look, Johan Free joined the party. You sent him a wave. No one can see it. I mean, did you mean Dwayne The Rock Johnson did it? A big welcome to all the new members. It's just us. So the only channels they can see are the help channel. As you can see, there is no new people in there. Obviously, you guys can't see it. If they come in here, you can see these are the new members. And then obviously you get into the general chat. You obviously have access to everything. Everything. I haven't posted anything, have I, in the announcement? Yeah, you have. Look. Big welcome to all new members. There's me, you, and Curtis in there. So yeah, staff chat. You can post stuff in the staff chat, by the way. But all of these are like, just like this, for example, welcome and rules. People can see this, but they can't type in there. And obviously this is the start bot. By the way, like I said, if you are interested in getting the premium Discord, you can see there, perfect entry on the short trade that we set up last night. Downside momentum is coming. That was at 67,753. You could have even got in at that trade and nailed it. So again, some of these key things that we talk about, as well as some of these other trades, the community absolutely nailing it as well on some of these trades. So if you want to be part of that, by the way, grab a channel membership, $6.50 a month. I mean, it's an absolute steal. If you ask me, and especially when I hear other people and they're like, hey, join the inner circle, it's great, it's $50 a month. You're like, oh my god, $50 a month. Wild if you ask me. PVC bot, thank you so much for the rose, appreciate that. Oh, what's this? I don't want to do that. I don't want to pay for anything, bro. It must be a double tap thing. I mean, potentially, yeah. The wave's got me wave about 100 members and none could view it. Yeah, he's crushing it though. Hey, Craig's crushing it. All right, keeping us safe in that Discord. Right. Anyway, let's keep an eye on what's going on in Iran really quickly. I mean, I don't personally think anything's happening tonight, but it is worth just keeping a view on what's going on. Look at that Emirates A380 from Seoul to Dubai. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Oh, thanks. Casey, you are working hard tonight, my friend, to keep everything safe over there. So shout out to you, buddy. I know it's not easy. So yeah, keep it going. All right. Where are we at with BTC right now? So I'm going to close that. So yeah, market sentiment right now, still bearish. We can see it here. Look, this consolidation range, still not doing anything. I thought, did I not have EMA? It's in the game. Oh, I don't want to do that, actually. I don't want to put EMAs on. EMA. It's in the game. It's in the game. It's in the game. Moving average exponential. There we go. I mean, this must be a generic one, but Tim, I do have a big fat finger in the small phone screen. It's always a challenge. Always a challenge. Scott's Noise. How we doing? We are great, my mate. How are you? Welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. Just, vibing, talking about the market, keeping us dialed in. I mean, I could move this stop loss. I probably should move this stop loss actually a little bit higher to around 66,952. Because I think if we get a wick back up, maybe at market opens, it could come up a little bit, maybe even move it up to here, like 67,054. If I think the market's going to go down a little bit further, we'll leave this trade open and see where it goes. I mean, I think personally, just my opinion, by the way, I feel like this is setting up for a further push down. I think crypto goes down. I think we see another push down in the market. That's just my opinion. I mean, I may be wrong. We're not always right here on the channel, but we certainly try and be as right as we can. But yeah, that's just my opinion, by the way. I think we see this pushed down, as does most of the indicators that we have on this screen telling us that we could go down as well. So. Crypto President in the house. What's your logo, by the way? What is that? Looks cool as. Many of you might be thinking, hey, Trubit, you are streaming a little bit longer than you normally do. It's because it's Wednesday, and I don't know if Vern's in the chat, by the way, but obviously we normally just do a TikTok live stream as well, but so I was just going to kind of hang out until that kind of happens, and I'm vibing. I'm enjoying the live streams, and it's the night where my missus knows that I won't, I'm just live a bit longer, so. I thought we can just hang out for a little bit longer if everyone's all right with that. If everyone's cool. And obviously Crypto President's just jumped into TikTok. So we'll, we'll just keep it real. Bitcoin Bijam, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Look, I hope everyone does. What's your view on Gala, ADA, and GRT? I think GRT's dead and it looks terrible. Gala, I think, is exactly the same. And ADA, maybe it gets a bit of a move. But, I mean, we take a look at them. It's like you're always on your screen, bro. Yeah, I honestly, if anyone can tell me how I can run TikTok through OBS, I am all eyes and ears. GRT, we've definitely looked at this before. I'm sure we have, and it's awful, and it looks awful, and I think it's going nowhere. That's just my opinion. It might be harsh, but I think it is. It's down 4% here on the day. Here we are on the weekly candles. Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's terrible. Like, that's going nowhere. Again, I mean, some people might tell me it's going to, but it's way below launch price, and it looks dreadful. And Gala, I think, they screwed Gala when they messed around with the whole, like, contract thing and messed around with it and all that kind of nonsense. That also is down 4.39% and doing exactly the same. In my, excuse me, in my opinion, going nowhere. Now, it doesn't mean the platform's not any good, but, I mean, look at it. It's terrible. Cardano's probably the only one that you might be okay on, but even that's a little bit of a dead chain. Doesn't mean it's going to stay dead forever. Like I said, Cardano's got the opportunity to do something a bit more. The debate, though, is if it actually will or not. So, I kind of feel like they didn't when the market was hot. A bit like, well, why would it now? One more, if okay, can we please look at Swift? Yeah, Swiftcoin, we have that on here. There, look. It's actually had a nice little rally the other day. So we already have, we must have tiered this. Now, the indicators here have said that this could be a buy opportunity. And maybe this can continue to push to the upside, perhaps. If it holds the 3745 range at the 786 Fibonacci, then yeah, maybe gets a break above. Does need to get back above the 20-day EMA, though. So, but right now, indications are that, look, this could be forming a slightly more bullish uptrend. Maybe. Oh, Vern sent me a message. You can totally on TikTok with OBS. People do it all the time for cleaning streams, vertical layouts. The easiest way is to use OBS virtual camera plugins. Set up your scene in OBS, like gameplay. Change everything. Then feed it straight into TikTok Live Studio as a camera source. Super smooth for PC. Or if you're feeling fancy, grab a stream key from TikTok. Yeah, so the stream key thing I could do. I have no idea where these stream keys are, though. No idea. I can't find it. So if I had a stream key, yeah, I could do it. So I have a stream key for YouTube, and I can. It's literally on my screen. I can see it, but I can't see it. And then obviously the other things are paid for. So tools like Asian Vertical, Perfect Phone Style Format. So yeah, if I could get a stream key, then it'd be fine. But I just can't seem to find a stream key anywhere, which is kind of annoying. Okay, cool. Right. Predictions for BTC low 50-50. Yeah, I mean probably slightly higher, 55 to 60k. My long trade, my 6-figure long trade that I'm opening at 62,000 is what I'm looking at. That's where I think the market's going to play out on the M pattern that we talked about. My view is I think I get that about $62,000. So yeah. Is there any private tokens XL still a thing? It is, but it's pretty much dead, Selma. I mean, I don't know. Tim, I know you jump into some of the lives. I haven't, but it doesn't look great. And their recent launch one is even worse, I think. Sorry, TikTok. Oh my God, this must make people feel sick. Dear me. Right. I don't know why I've still got a calculator open here as well. But yeah, I mean, is privacy thing a thing? Yes, Vern. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, let's do it. I'm down. I literally was saying I didn't know where you were, so we'll just continue this stream. I'll open it up and you can just join it, and then I'll probably call it on YouTube and we'll just move it to TikTok, which will be good. So yeah, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. past. So yeah, so I mean that's kind of where I sort of get. I mean, Bitcoin's it's consolidating. This is obviously on a slightly slower 15-minute time frame. You know, so as much as we think it's kind of pushing, it's not really doing anything at the minute, in my opinion. Immunify, what is that? What is Immunify? Have I seen that somewhere? I feel like maybe I have. Immunify, here we go, yeah. Man, it's up 27%. What the hell is this? $3.54 million market cap, 7 million. It's on Coinbase. Wow. I mean, they dumped. Oh, it's not on the weekly chart, sorry. Look at the 4-hour. I mean, the chart's not great, if we're dead honest. Bybit, Coinbase, BitGet. What is it? I don't even know what it is. Oh, we have looked at this. We've definitely seen this before. Crypto's reshaped. Yeah, we've definitely looked at this. I'm sure we have. Yeah, I am sure we've looked at this before. Fueled by Immunify, the force behind on-chain security's biggest wins. Yeah, we've definitely looked at this before. I'm sure we have. I'm sure we have, man. BTC, let's get it. Dump it into oblivion. One more, okay. Oh, I said that, didn't I? Man, you guys are really not chatty on YouTube tonight. Thanks, by worth keeping. I mean, look, it's on an uptrend, marginal uptrend right now, so you may get a little bit more momentum. Maybe, maybe not. You'd argue that at the minute it's kind of pulling up. You know, it's a low market cap. Volume's up 170%. The only thing I would say is, why is the volume spiked? Why is the price spiked? And if that's just, if people go, well, I don't really know, then, no. If it's like, well, they've integrated something new, they've got a new vault protocol, like a security enhancement, like if there's a reason for it to pump, then yeah, maybe it's kind of worth holding on to. And I always think it depends what you believe long term. The chart doesn't look great though, I'll just be dead honest. It definitely, I mean, it launched at, 0.11, so 1 cent 1, and it's at 2 zeros 4, so it's down it's down a chunk of change right now. It's down 65%. So, but it's on Coinbase. But I mean, that can either mean something or it can not mean anything. That's always the challenge, isn't it? So, yeah, I'll have to see. We'll have to see. If I try and buy it and it moves the chart, yeah, I mean, that's good. Canton's taking it. Oh, is it? Really? Canton's dumping? Bruh. It's not. Well, I mean, it's selling off a little bit. Again, though, back down to the 20 EMA. So, here on the 12-hour chart, do I think... I mean, you could argue, yeah, it's down a little bit. In a market, though, that's absolutely... it's tanking. Like, the markets are pushing down right now. The markets are, just a little bit nervous, aren't they? $180 that trade now, nearly 18% right now. So, bullish. Market's definitely vibing down. Do you recommend Coinbase rather than crypto.com? I don't like crypto.com. Their customer service is awful. Coinbase is okay, but what you give up for ease and you give up for speed, you lose in transparency, in my opinion. So, again, I'll just give you my personal thoughts. I don't have anything on Coinbase anymore. I removed all of my cryptocurrency from Coinbase. All of it. So, yeah. Don't have any of it on there. So no one can see your messages to that person that keeps putting messages. But what I can do for you is block. See you later, alligator. Jason Pickford in the house. Good on, Jason. Good to see you, man. What do you think? We are in a bear market? Yes. We are definitely in a bear market. The assumption or the technical term, are we in a bear market, is have we been a month below the 200-week moving average? And the answer, simply put, is yes. So, yeah, we are definitely in a bear market right now. How long that bear market is the bigger debate. But yeah, you'd argue we are in a bear market. So the time to accumulate, I mean, think about it. BTC was 126. It's 66,000 and looks as weak as anything right now. So, we're definitely in a bear market. We're definitely in a bear market, people. Magic Race says, absolutely, is it worth tracking out any Trump results? I don't know what that means. But yeah, like I said, though, these are the moments that you have to embrace these pushdowns in the market. Is Bitcoin going to zero? No. Is crypto market going to stop? No, of course it's not. Like, it's too big to fail now. So there's definitely this kind of view that, look, it'll go higher, in my opinion. When do you think it's all going to go up again? I mean, the question then is, when do we think the bottom's in? That's a slightly different question. And I think that, well, many people know my prediction that I think Bitcoin comes down. I think this M pattern needs to play out. And, you could do some super rudimental kind of view, which says, when did the M pattern do that? So it took us about what? 7 days, about 8 days to hit the bottom of this market. So, could the bottom be in come end of February, March? Maybe. I mean, my prediction, by the way, is that I think you need to get a couple of other things. So I think we need another PMI read, another jobs data read, and probably another CPI read, which probably puts us, in my personal humble opinion, based on nothing other than gut feeling and a little bit of facts. You're probably talking, in my view, April-ish. I think the market bottom could be in. And then what I think happens that changes the market is the market structure bill gets passed. You get another positive PMI reading. You get some good CPI data, and jobs markets start to push back to the upside. Kevin Walsh takes into the Federal Reserve and indicates they're going to cut rates on the first one, which would be May's meeting. That could signal the bottom. Just my opinion. That's only says 2 months of pump, then 4 or 5 months of dump, and then bear market bottom. So you would be at, where would you be at then? Like August, September time. So it says, holy month of Ramsam started today in India. We are supposed to fast for a month from now. Wow. I tried that once before. Oh, thanks, Scott Snows. I actually did try. I worked in a place that had a lot of Asian people, and they obviously did it for Eid, and I was like, oh yeah, cool, let's fast. Oh, honestly, shout out to anyone that fasts, man. It's hard. Hard. Close to 2027 bottom if we get a pump now. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. We are going to move over to TikTok in just a minute. So we're going to continue this on. I'm going to bring up a couple of guests. Anyone that wants to have a view, anyone wants to speak, anyone wants to give a opinion of where the market is, we'll absolutely bring you up on TikTok so you can come and see us. Like I said, we're just going to keep the stream going, by the way. So don't leave anybody. In fact, share the stream out. There's a little button here somewhere. Share it out. Let people know that we are here. And I'm going to bring up a couple of special guests, and we'll be talking to those guys tonight about what they feel about the market, what's their opinions, what's on everyone's mind, etc. All right. So we're going to be keeping going for about another hour yet, which is kind of bullish. But I will close the YouTube stream down just because, yeah, I mean, in fairness, we're picking views back up again, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, that's how it is. Oh, Fat Sonic, hey, thanks for being here. Do you know what I mean? Thanks for, but if I, like, being totally dead honest, and I haven't checked my videos from earlier on, but man, it is hard on YouTube right now. And the way I know it is, people just aren't creating content like they have done before. Like, it's wild. It is really crazy right now. So the fact you guys turn up, that you don't have to, by the way, you guys just come into the show, you support what I'm doing. I really genuinely appreciate it because it's hard yards right now on YouTube. It's really, really, really hard yards. And I don't know why. And I don't know if it's something I'm doing. I don't know if it's because like I don't have a thumbnail artist. These are all my own thumbnails. I don't know if that's a thing. No idea. Like, it's just weird. You know, videos are just really struggling. Like, if you think like this live stream's had more views than the 2 videos I put out today. But then I think the same is said, you know, for everyone at the minute. You know, everyone's views are hard work. If you're a big channel, you're cool. If you're not, it's hard yards, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, that's where I get to Fairground. I mean, my view is, look, I can't believe that all of a sudden people just went, I just hate your content, so I'm not going to watch it anymore. Be pretty wild, wouldn't it? Everyone just was like, yep, hate your content now. I've liked it for 4.5 years. Hate it now. It's rubbish. Rubbish. It's stuff I know you don't have to try too hard either. Just keep it up. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. I do have an idea. If you give me a second to share it, go for it, bro. Always. By the way, I love taking feedback on the channel. I love people giving me an opinion, giving me a view. Like, hey, like I never really used to do trading, but I think people quite like it right now. So, yeah. I think a lot of people are exhausted of watching hype and seeing it fail, not you specific. Yeah, I agree, Chaos. I agree. I mean, it's so obvious, isn't it? You go to YouTube and everyone's like, oh, crypto bull runs here. Is it? Doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, look at this. My entire crypto portfolio is gone. It's like, is it? Is it though? Like, if it is, then that means you just basically lied to your entire audience over the last, like, you know, few years or whatever. Anyway, don't matter. Don't matter. Yeah, footage is destroying YouTube. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting one right now. Definitely an interesting one right now. I've been watching in the background. Enjoy the content. 37, you legend. Thanks so much. I have to admit, I haven't seen anything from the guy who walks his treadmill and reps while he's doing crypto. What? Anytime you do trading, you have to show real risk management. Oh yeah, 100%. Well, look, that's why we have the trades open. If we're ever going to do trades, you know, I think it's worthwhile showing. I mean, we showed exactly this setup on the trade last night, so you know, and we'll walk it through and we'll post it in the Discord. But yeah, I mean, what's it at? 176, 17%. That's all good. It's all good, baby. Okay, cool. Right, I'm just waiting for Vern to join TikTok, and then oh, have you actually requested Vern? No, not yet. Not yet. Okay, cool. Cool. They're all on TikTok now. I mean, a lot of people do the TikTok narrative. Are you placing up bets right now? No, this is a trade we took last night, Johnny. We literally talked about it. Look how perfect this trade was. We set this trade up, price wicked up, hit the signal, and then we're just trading this all the way back down now. It's not the craziest one. It's about $1,000 in margin, and yeah, it's only like a 6x short, but it's like $175, nearly 17%. So it's not a bad one. Not a bad trade, personally. So yeah. Some good traders on TikTok and crypto people. Yeah, look at this. There's great people out there, 100%. Yeah, honestly, we just obviously Vern will join me on there as well, and we just kind of open it up and let anyone come and chat with us, and anyone come and talk and have an opinion, and you know, kind of do all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, if anyone's interested, by the way, jump over to TikTok. It is easy to find me. You just put in TikTok like this, although I think this brings up something else, and yeah, you'll be able to find me on here somewhere. Anyway, somewhere. Peak always takes 17%. Yeah. Yeah, Fat Sonic, if you got TikTok, like you say, you can join in a browser and just come over and, like I say, we just kind of chat all things crypto, get a different view. People can come up and ask us questions. As he can't find himself. I mean, I shouldn't be able to find myself. Fine, I'm going to do it now on purpose. I'm going to do it now on purpose because you said that. Right. Yo, Vern's in the house. Right, let me bring Vern up real quick. Where are you, Vern? There, invite. There you are. Just invite you up. Just wait a sec, Vern. I'm going to find myself on TikTok. Oh, what? Where are you? You're like in your lounge or something, bro. You should see Vern's crushing it right now. There you are. Look, you see, I am live. Look, you see. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Anyway, hold on a second, Vern. Right, everybody, I'm gonna flick to this screen. I know my fingers in. Everyone say hello to Vern. Look, ooh, Vern's on the stream, baby. Right, 1 second. 1 second, and then I'm with you. Right, let me open up these so we can request find dropping guests. Sounds wild. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, mate. Right, everybody, that does bring us to the end. Jump over to TikTok, all right? Come and find us over there. I'm live with none other than Crypto Vern. So Fat Sonic says, nice beard. Magic Craig, hey up, Vern. See, lots of Vern fans. So look, guys, head over to TikTok. I'm going to be live with Vern for the next hour, chatting all things what is going on in this market, getting his view on a number of things. So we'll see you over there. And don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, as always, here on YouTube, everybody. So hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the flip side. See you later.